Hello, Halo Nation. Big T coming at you from snowy Minnesota. Oh, I got some feedback. Hold on. Always got to be something, isn't it? Check 1, 2. Yeah, let's turn that off. There, nobody try and call me because I'm not going to answer. Anyway, we got some good topic here tonight we're going to cover. I actually had a call from somebody tonight. Actually, Richard Westerman got on the phone with me tonight, and we had to go through a couple of steps on the doorbell cam, so that prompted me to bring that up to people. We've got our Pulsar Halo doorbell cam. Looks just like this. That's the doorbell cam right there, brand new in the box. So we're going to go over some details about that, a couple of tech tips for installation, where you can find information about the installation, and some features that the app has that I didn't know about. Actually, Sean Miller pointed it out to me last week or a week or so ago about a couple of features on the doorbell cam that I didn't know about, and got kind of excited about because it's very few doorbell cams out there have this feature that I'm going to show you. So it is a nice selling feature for why Pulsar Halo's doorbell cam has some superior features to it. So I know we've had a couple of people with difficulties getting it set up and things like that, thinking it's a little hard. Once you go through it once, it's really not that hard. When you know where the directions are, it's even easier. So we're going to go through some of that, show you how all that works, and cover that for you. So first things first, let's take a look at what's in the box here. This is how the doorbell cam will come. I haven't even opened this one. Now, if you haven't seen, I do have an installation video that we have on YouTube here. So that's really all you get is what comes in the box here, and the wiring. And there's a mount. If you look underneath here, there's a special screw and a key. And if you want to learn the details about how to install this on your home, go ahead and look up the doorbell cam installation video that we've got on PulsarHaloTV.com. It's also in your rapid funnel, so if you need to send it to somebody, it's conveniently located in the training category of your rapid funnel, as well as several other tech tips. So just a couple of features on the doorbell cam. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about and showing you, there's obviously the speaker here, the microphone is here, you've got your lens, your camera lens right here, but you've got your motion detector. And the one feature that this has that most do not have is a PIR, infrared detection. So it basically uses the same technology that our motion sensors use, using infrared detection. So you have options to turn the infrared on and off, and options to turn the motion sensor on and off. And I'll go through some of those features here once we get into what the difference is and why that's important to us. But first things first, let's go through. I'm going to go onto the website here. Make this big and show you my computer screen. So that's my screen. It's just a screen of the website. Everybody's got one. If you don't have one, I don't know how you got this notification to be on this call. But if you go into your website, this is the front page of your website, and this goes for any product that we have out there. If you're looking for the installation manual or some technical specs on it, just go to the same place you go to buy it. Just go to your shop area right on the front page. And the reason why they put this here is so customers can get access to this as well. So you click on this shop section, and now we're going to go to the cameras, because that's what we're going to be looking up. And there it is. There's the good old 1 megapixel doorbell cam. And don't let the 1 megapixel fool you. Some people say, oh, it's not 4 megapixel. with the compression that we use, it is a HD quality 720p high definition cameras. All of our cameras are. So let's go into details here. And if you look, once you go into these details, you'll see there's a summary here, and then there's docs. This docs area is where you go. You click on that, and lo and behold, look at what we have here. We've got the Secure Bell user guide, the Secure Bell installation guide, and adding secondary users, which has come up in the past. People want to add their doorbell cam to multiple phones. Well, that's what you have to do because the doorbell cam is a secure feature. You have to go through that. So let me click on this. Well, the first thing you want to do is go to the installation guide, and you will see that that goes through all the details. Oh, see, there's what I was just talking about. I actually had it backwards. The infrared LED, this is what helps your night vision. That's what these are. Those are your infrared LEDs. This is your infrared motion sensor, and so that's where that is. So I pointed to the wrong thing. Oh well. This is important to understand. Here, I know it's just one little picture, but again, this camera needs to be connected to a 2.4 gigahertz network, and the reason why that's important is if for those of you that don't know, and I'll just say it again just so people can get educated about it, the 2.4 gigahertz network on your Wi-Fi actually penetrates walls easier, and also it will penetrate walls easier, and it transmits farther, which is why these cameras use the 2.4 gigahertz network. A lot of people have the 5 gig network, supposed to be bigger, better, faster. Yes, it is slightly faster for devices when you're browsing the internet or maybe you're streaming something. But what is more important with these cameras is to make sure we get as long a range as possible. That's why we require the 2.4 gigahertz network. So just so you know that. Now, when you are installing the phone, just to kind of give you some concepts, when you first go through the installation, it's going to have you, well, I'll get to that here in a second, but you need to communicate with the doorbell cam first in order to get it to connect to your Wi-Fi router. Just concepts of understanding I'll go through here in just a second. But, you know, let's just scroll through this here real quick. This is just so some of the items that are in the package. Right there. Note, doorbell only supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks. So make sure you know that. If you do need an external power supply, obviously it's intended to use the your doorbell's power. So the power that actually powers the chime on your old doorbell is actually what this thing uses for power. That way you don't have to try and change batteries. In the frigid cold up here in Minnesota, you'd be changing batteries once a month on something like this. Or charging batteries. I know some other competitor cameras out there have rechargeable options. Well, from people I've talked to, they hardly ever use it. They always want to have it powered some way. Otherwise, you're constantly charging, changing batteries. And of course, the time you need it is when the battery will be dead. So having it powered by an AC power source is important. Now, like I said, this uses, and you can see it right here, works best with a 15 to 20 volt AC, 10 to 30 volt amp power supply transformer. Obviously, the power supply transformer that your doorbell chime uses is the same. Is typically, most of them are that 15 to 20 volts. So a 16 volt power supply you could use on this. Now, what is a power supply? People ask me that. What's a power supply? You know, anything like this. This is the power supply. You know, it plugs in. All you have to do is look at it and make sure it's 15 to 20 volts AC, not DC, but AC. So you can pick those up anywhere. You might even have one laying around from an old computer or some kind of electronic device that you could use to power this thing, as long as it's an AC, volt, DC, volt AC, not DC, but 15 to 20 volt AC, alternating current. I know that gets kind of technical for people, but it's written. right on the back of the doorbell cam. So just find a power supply that falls within that range, and you can use this doorbell cam in locations that do not have what the heck, not my focus is all funky. There we go. So I'll scroll down through here. Now here's the spot where you're supposed to put the diode. That diode comes in the package here. You'll see that in the package when you open it up. There's a small little black diode. That little thingy right there, that's the diode. Now that might get kind of technical for some people, so if it is, you may have to hire somebody to come do it for you. But otherwise, that's the way it works, and that's the way most of them work. So, and it talks about, removing your old doorbell, which is simply 2 screws that you remove to take the wires off of your old doorbell. Put the mounting plate in, pull the wires through, twist the wires together, and then it comes with little crimpers that you can crimp. If you don't like those crimpers because they're not very superb quality, you can just get wire nuts and things like that. So check results. So when you first turn it on, you might get some LEDs that light up, and it tells you which LEDs need to be lit up at what time. Blue solid LED, that means the transformer has too high a voltage. Places for the 16-volt AC transformer, that kind of thing. So in most cases, you won't have any of these issues. Turn off the power, open the chime box, connect the wires, connecting 2 wires. So it goes through all the options you could have when installing this, and then it tells you to go install the Secure Bell app from Google Play or Apple Store. Create an account, and so then it goes through the creating the account information. Now there's another, here's some tech tips. If the lights that are on the front, these little things here are lights. If those on the front are flashing, let me show you here. Sorry, didn't have this pulled up, so you missed all this other stuff I was talking about. But if you see some different lights flashing blue slow, it kind of tells you what the issues might be. So go ahead and use this thing, because it'll tell you, like a slow, red flashing slow. That's what we had today. It just means it's not connected to the network yet, so it hasn't found it. So anyway, so that's a good place to go to get the details you need. And then there's also the user guide, which has got some pictures and makes it a little bit easier. So now that you've got the doorbell installed, it explains the setup and the commonly used features. See, and this here also tells you some of these statuses, how to go in, log into your account. Now this is where I wanted to slow down a little bit to have you understand what the process is. Once you get this doorbell installed and the lights on it are flashing red and green like they're supposed to, now you need to go and create an account. So you enter username, email, password. This will be used to access the Secure Bell app. Later you'll create a different password for the doorbell camera, because what you're doing after you create this account, this online account, you will be emailed a PIN. You get the PIN code from an email, click OK. That happens all right automatically immediately. It will then direct you to sign back in with your credentials. So then you go ahead and sign in, log in instead of create account. Now you'll log in. And now we need to go to setting up the doorbell camera, because the doorbell camera does not know what your home's Wi-Fi is. That's what it uses to communicate with the servers and to communicate with your app on your phone, is your home's Wi-Fi, the 2.4 gigahertz network. So what you do, this part of it, what you end up doing is you're going to connect directly to the doorbell camera by going into navigating to your Wi-Fi settings. And like I said, watch the video that I did on it. It'll give you the information. But just to get you to understand the concept, because what you're doing now is you need to interface your phone with the video doorbell cam in order to tell it what your Wi-Fi and your Wi-Fi password is, so the camera has permission now to access your network. So that's why you're going through that part. So you connect directly to the Wi-Fi that's created. It's just a new Wi-Fi created doorbell camera from a list of available Wi-Fi networks. and now you're communicating directly with it. You go through a few steps, and now you go back out, and you can completely set this doorbell camera up. So, and so, like I said, these documents are on your website. Go ahead and look through them, read through them. You may have a customer that has questions, and they may call you instead of customer support. This way, you can answer it if you've got one, you can answer it. But it's fairly simple to set up. I mean, it might take you an hour or so if you have to, do the mounting on the outside. I guess I had mine set up in about 20 minutes, so it really didn't take that much at all. So there's that, and then there's also if you want to add a secondary user, and that's simply maybe you want your wife to have it on their phone or your kids to have it. So this is the directions on how to set it up. A couple of ways to do that, to where you can have more than one person be able to access it on their phone. So, and it's a separate app. It's a Secure Bell app. It has a pass-through to link with the Pulsar Halo app, but it is its separate app basically because there's so many features that it runs independently. So that's that. So that's where you find that information. Now let me go to my split screen here and show you. I'm going to go right to, see there's my Secure Bell app right underneath my Pulsar Halo app. Pull that up, and there is your, get this out of the way here. That's where your camera is, and now basically to view your camera, just touch on it, and now it gives you different options. You can go to your live view, which, I can go see my live view here. It gives you recorded events, so I can go here and see the recorded events. I've got mine set up to record when it detects motion. So here's a video of my, it's probably my dog set it off. He goes out there to, oh, I can't play while I'm, oh, yeah, it can't play during a call. So basically it's because I'm on a call. Anyway, so there's all the recorded events that it has seen. But one of the features that I wanted to show you is if you go into this, the menu button in the upper right hand corner here, go to that menu button, and there's system settings. And that's where you can go adjust all kinds of different settings that most cameras have, but there's a couple of features that ours has. Now, if you look, my doorbell camera is just named front door, so I'm going to touch on that front door, and now it takes me into all the different options. I can add a Wi-Fi chime, speaker volume, microphone volume. I can turn that up and down. The resolution, you can change the resolution to a higher frame rate, lower frame rate. Image adjustments. See, I don't even know what some of these things do. Oh, that's just the brightness and darkness of your image. Cloud recording, which ours has. Yeah, see, and I've got mine set to where it takes a 25-second doorbell press recording. And on an emotion event, I've got it set to do 25 seconds. I want it to catch 5 seconds before the motion happens. So when it sees motion, it backs up 5 seconds and says, okay, I want to record 5 seconds prior to this. Now you can set these things to different options. Oh, maybe you can't. Yeah, you can. I don't know why it's not letting me go into them. But anyway, here's the one that I wanted to go down to. You go down to the motion and motion region and motion sensitivity, and that's where you can set where your camera is detecting motion. Do you want it to detect right in the middle, down below, off to the left, right, up, down? Maybe you got cars passing by off in the distance, and you don't want them to set off your motion. So that's why I deleted this, because you can see cars back in the distance back there. So only when they get up front and close to my camera. Let's go back. Here is the motion sensitivity. Now I've got the motion sensitivity disabled. Well, how's it still taking recordings? Because here's what happened. And that's why a lot of motion sensitive cameras have kind of went away from it, because people just they got tired of receiving the recordings of a leaf flying by or a bug buzzing or things like that, because that motion sensitivity will detect any kind of motion. So what you can do is you can go in and disable the motion sensitivity and go to the PIR, the infrared sensitivity, and turn that on. By default, when you install it, it is actually disabled. And I didn't even know this existed, because I was getting all kinds of false notifications. You know, a bee would fly by and it would set it off, and you know, all kinds of different things. So what this infrared does is it uses passive infrared technology to where it detects heat signatures instead of just motion. So if a leaf flies by, that's not going to set it off. But if my dog walks by, it sees the heat signature of the dog or a human being. So it can become a handy feature if you're getting tired of all the extra notifications that your system has. And you got different ranges. You can set it to low, medium, or high on there. I've just got mine set to medium. So if you notice, once you get your camera installed and the motion is setting off, everything's setting it off, that is a huge feature that our system has that a lot of other doorbell cameras don't even have. They just have the regular motion sensitivity because it's cheap and easy. And so that's what they use. Where our system, they actually put in an infrared sensor in the camera. You know, gives it more value, makes it more expensive to do, but yet we still offer ours for less than most companies do. So that's just one major feature I wanted to show you guys that I got informed about. That I'm going to back up here. Go cancellation, microphone volume. So there's all kinds of features in here about devices, feedback, login. So go ahead and explore. You know, go take a look at what your system can do, what your camera can do. One other thing I'll leave you with before we wrap things up here is we've noticed, because of the extreme cold temperatures we've been having, I just wanted to let you know that the door sensors, the nano sensors, the door window sensors that go on your doors for security, those security sensors there, just a tip: if you have those nano sensors outside in this kind of weather, you may end up, you know, we've been receiving a few more low battery indications. And what happens is the extreme cold temperatures limits the electron flow or something technical like that. And so your battery might not be dead, but it's going to register as a low battery just because of that extreme cold temperature. And so it's hard on batteries being that kind of cold. So, you know, the nano sensors were designed to be indoor sensors, not outdoor. So, but you have some people that put them on there. For instance, my garage entry door is outside and my garage is not heated. So it can get down to, you know, 10 below out by that door. And so that can cause some false alarms. So if you've noticed that and you've gotten a call from a buddy, hey, why is my battery dead already? That's what it is, especially up here in frigid North Dakota, Minnesota area. You're going to run into that from time to time. So anyway, I just let people know that if those sensors got put outside, you know, that's just the way the ball bounces, I guess. So keep that in mind. But those are a couple of tech tips for Big T. Again, go on the YouTube channel and check out the how to install. It's also on Rapid Funnel, but I'm going to go to my YouTube channel just to make sure I've got it here. I don't want to be lying to y'all. Let's go to computer screen. All videos. Yeah, it's got to be here. There's all kinds of stuff on this YouTube channel, by the way. Oh, that's the Halo camera setup. City lights. Now let me go to the next batch. It might be back here farther. Doorbell. There we go. Doorbell camera. It's a little bit long. It's a 9-minute video. But that'll go through some information, so you can go ahead and look that up. Oh, hold on a second. I just got a text. Somebody's got questions and I haven't even... Oh, let me read some of these questions. Holy cow, we got a whole grandpappy of people on here. Do you? Okay, Clayton's got a question here somewhere. Hey, Victor. Hey, Cheryl. Mitch is on here. Sean Miller. Do you have to upgrade your basic system to the camera package in order to have a doorbell camera? Great question. I've had that question before. And yes, if you look, when you go to the website, let me go to the computer screen. When you go to the website, you'll even see it. Where did I see it? Cameras. Doorbell cameras. Yeah, I see it right here. This item will add an additional charge of $7.99 per month to your monitoring fee for video storage, up to 8 cameras. So what they do is, because it uses video storage just like the other cameras do, that $7.99 covers the video storage for the doorbell cam. Now, so that's kind of gets you the app and the doorbell cam and the video storage and all those features that I went through. You know, other doorbell cameras have the option of having no monthly, but then you have no options, you have no recording, you have no. All it does is the screen comes on with the live view when your doorbell rings, and that's it. It doesn't do any recording, any motion. So if you're not there, you don't know who rang the doorbell. If you don't answer it, you don't get to see it because there's no recording. So ours just automatically comes with that cloud recording, and it's $7.99 per month. But then you can add up to 8 cameras to that total. So let me see what other. Sean Miller, you can have up to 8 cameras per system. The camera charge. Yeah. Oh, thanks for answering that, Sean. Sean answered that question. Doorbell count as a camera, being that it is a separate Wi-Fi system. I believe it does. So, you know, that's something I should check on. It might, you might be able to put 8 other cameras plus the doorbell camera as long as you're paying the $7.99. So, I believe you could probably do that. But if I'm incorrect, I will let you guys know. So, let me see. Dean, good idea to have a few CR for the nano sensors. Yes, CR1632 are the batteries that go in those little door sensors, the nano sensors. You can pick them up at Walmart or Hardware Hank or, you know, any kind of hardware store like that. So it's in the camera area, so that would tell me yes. You would need to. Thanks, Beth McQueen. Beth McQueen's on here. Of course, Dino Johnson's on here. Clayton Francis, new rep, Pulsar Halo rep. Donnie Davis, Scott Clemenson's on here. Sean Miller, detection. Make sure your motion sensor is on to reduce false motion. Selecting it is off by default. Yes, yeah, that's what I was talking about. The infrared motion sensor. It does work. Place perpendicular to your door. Yes, it does because it's got that fisheye lens. Hey, Beth McQueen, how are you? Jeff Hoff, Ken Nauman. Well, hey, how's it going, Ken? So, anyway, well, thanks for being on here today. Oh, I got Lisa Cambiotti. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I appreciate you guys being on here. Obviously, that shows that you want to be educated about your system, which is a good thing for an independent rep. We need to be educated on our system so we can help explain and inform people about that. So, anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I will cut her down. I don't want people getting bored with me. I tend to kind of ramble on about things too much. So this is Big T signing off from Big Lake, Minnesota. For those of you that are making the big time commitment as leaders to come down to the conference February 9th, looking forward to being down there. We've got some great things coming, some good reps from some of our companies coming to explain some things to us and some new stuff coming out. So don't miss that. If you haven't made the commitment, go down there yet. I totally encourage you to do that. It's the best investment you can make for your business this year in 2019 because this is our year, baby. So have a fantastic evening, guys. Thank you much for being here. We'll see you next Wednesday for more tech tips from Pulsar Halo headquarters, Pulsar Halo TV. Have a fantastic night. Bye-bye.